All right, there we go. I'm back. I don't get that. I'm gonna spend it. All right, everybody. Should be live, should be here. We should be getting things going. I am your host, TG, and well, behind the production booth is gonna be Cal. But overall, we got what's the game up? We got Render versus Adopt here. Adopt, a name I haven't really seen or heard a whole lot about personally for quite a while, so I'm interested to see what they got going on their side. But Render, oh, that team, that org, I have seen around for a little bit. And well, as usual, I casted this squad a little bit earlier, not for AEL, but you know they've looked pretty solid overall. Got Project, got Cypher, got Hidden, Kez on that squad. For the side of Adopt, you got Vibin, you got Swish, you got Dyer. I don't really know exactly who their fourth player is at the moment, as we are still waiting for this lobby to get all loaded up and get it all sorted. But you know, we should have a good matchup hopefully on our hands. This is going to be winners finals of the Major 1 for AEL, and well, we'll be looking at a Bocage hardpoint, I believe, to start. So that should definitely be very interesting overall. Again, we're just waiting for one more player to join up in the lobby, and then we can get things going, see how these two teams really stack up, because one's going to be going into grand finals. I don't know if I don't know how exactly how the format for this league works in terms of the grand finals, but I don't know if it's like a best of 5, best of 7, or whatever, resets and all that good stuff. But nonetheless, still definitely nice to be the first ones entered into the grand finals. You have an advantage no matter what, really. And you know, we'll see what the performance is like. I don't exactly know what the competition is like down to losers. I would imagine it's still very much a little bit of a hard-fought battle down there, but it's nice. It's nice to be up here. You've reached almost the end of the road. It's just a matter of this one game, and then you're secured in that grand finals. And, well, again, we'll see how these things turn on out in the end. And, yes, for the fourth player of the side of Adopt is going to be Rasco here. But looking at the series in general, we got a Bocage for the hard point of the map 1. The map 2, Tuscan S&D is what we're going to be playing on. The map 3 would be a Gavoot 2 hard point, followed by the map 4 and 5, which will be a hard point. And then S&D, that's going to be a Berlin all day long to close out the series if we reach those points. And so that one is definitely going to be an interesting one. Definitely starting fast, ending a little bit on the slower side of things if we indeed reach there. First, we got to get the results in for the first map, the second, and the third, that are at least guaranteed. Overall, I don't really have the stream, I guess, pulled up on my side. I don't really know where the link is at. I would love to look at chat, maybe see if things are going down, interact with you guys maybe a little bit. I don't know if that would be nice, but regardless, still, we'll be chilling here, waiting for this lobby to get set up now, waiting for pretty much everyone just be like, all right, we're ready to go, ready to get right into it. And that looks like we should be getting into there shortly, hopefully. But regardless, I don't really know how all your days are going. You guys can... There we go. Oh, we're on YouTube now. We've made the switch. I thought last time we were on Twitch. Apparently we're on YouTube. It's been a good minute since I've casted an AEL. Maybe a little bit too long, if you will. But regardless, back at it again. Loading up into the Bocage now, as we will see the first map start to unfold. And well, this one, it's one you can definitely, I think, gauge some sort of styles on, some sort of like who's going to be kind of dominant, but it's not like I'd say the end all be it all as some of the other maps in this map set that we have for this game, just mainly because it's just so scrappy. So, you know, if a team starts off slow, it can definitely really affect them in the long run in this map, but it's also just a good warm-up map in general is how this one ends up being played. But now, let's see, Cypher just gonna be chilling on this point. Hidden gonna be in that little hut there, and there you go. Cypher finds one. There's gonna be Dyer coming around. Hidden should get that call out. Does the kill is gonna be coming on in, and well, just like that, it is gonna be Render still holding on strong to this first point. Adopt now making an advance. Gonna be pushing in from the backside. Number one now coming in from that side, and well, there you go, Kez. Good kill there. Does get shot at. Will go down. The trades trying to be there, but Rasco with 3. The gunny, the nades, the headshots, it's all lining on up, and with that, it will be the side of Adopt now getting onto this hill. They will be getting some of this time, and by the time the P1 closes, things are going to be just about tied on up. The P1, definitely one of the more scrappy hills, although this map in general can be all scrap for the most part if you play it really, really correctly. Or not even correctly, but just the way the map ends up playing on out. But in general, definitely P1, the scrappiest of the hills on this map. And right now, Vibin will find one to trade the vengeance for his teammate. Render, though, they're going to be on this hill. Projects is going to be on it. Vibin, I think, waiting for some reinforcements, waiting for that call saying, hey, where do we want to push from? And eventually, they do start to collapse, get on in, but the control is not going to be quite there for them. I believe as Render are still going to be having a majority of the manpower. You see Adopt now spawning on out. They're having to go ways to go. Hidden. Gonna be in this barn. Does need to be the player that needs to be taken care of, and he is. And with that, Vibin secures 2. Both the one on Hidden and the one on the point. Allows Adopt to get some control, get some of the time. Don't let Render get too far ahead, as right now, the lead pretty much very, very similar to the P1. You know, we saw Render with that quick lead, but Adopt here take it on back, as they will now find the position for the next rotation, but Dyer comes on out, finds 2, a massive, massive kill. And the rest of his team trying to do some work as well. They're able to get it. Swiss is on that hill briefly, though, as the reinforcements from Render not too far away. They will be spawning behind that brick wall. An opportunity for a spawn trap in some cases, but if you can't set up quickly after a spawn wipe or squad wipe, it can be tricky. And with that, Render, I'm gonna be honest with you, I feel like they definitely have a lot of the firepower more on their side, but again, this map is so scrappy. It's just a matter of getting the gun warm, being able to snap from one player to another. Quick reads. Projects coming around through the riverside. A few more players. Number 6 going to be narrowly avoiding contact with him, so Projects almost able to work his way on the backside, but will get caught. Rotation, sort of a breakout from Render. Will not happen, and Nexil is going to pop on up. Adopt. Do have this initial control around it, though not the time quite yet, as Vibin is going to be the one that steps on in. But Render are here to meet him, as there is a brief contest, but Vibin with the movement, with the plays, trying to go for that second kill, does not quite happen. And with that, Render, they get a full wipe, they get some control. Now it's going to be them holding back Adopt on the next push. Guys, just chilling. Some more players are going to be around. There's going to be one right below him. But Project comes on out. He finds one. There's going to be the contest player that hops on out. Swiss, he finds one, but the trade is there. Kez. A nice play from him and Render there, like the coordination. But the tension has to go to the next hill. I think Cypher, he knows that. He's starting to read that. But so is Vibin. He's expecting that long side flank. He gets the kill. There's another one there. Teammate's going to get the kill. Vibin, though, making a last-second effort to, I guess, push this hill. Push through mid, push through barn. Trying to get the kill, but Cypher somehow no right to be alive, honestly. Should have been dead. But Rasco trying to make up for his teammates' mistakes. Finds 2, does get caught. The streaks are out, though. Kez finds 1. Projects, another one with his gun. Render make their way onto this hill. The push. Is it too great for his side of Adopt to push on out? That's going to be Projects just absolutely beaming on the 6th. Full streaks for him. rest of Render, they start to push on out. Kez getting tagged, will go down. Still only a few more seconds left on it, 15. I guess a little bit more than a few, but nonetheless, not as much time as you start to set up for the P1. Second set of rotations. Number 2, sandwich between so many players. Will be hitting the finds him. Kez as well. Vibin, a good pick. There's going to be the rest of Render, though, right in front of him. Cypher, though, puts an end to him. So he's now in barn. There's going to be a few more players around, but Render, they have a lot of this control. They know the reads. They know the spots to check. 40 seconds still left on the P1. Cypher with 1. Expecting some more players around. He has the instinct there. There's going to be players coming around this side, coming around the corner. And he finds it. Now, making his way onto the hill. Number 6, though, around P2. Finds 1. Definitely could be a nuisance there, but number 2 hit and shuts him down before he can really get any massive plays going, any massive sort of change-ups around. And Cypher just hopping around the map, still somehow alive at 4, on a 4 streak right now, 16 and 6, or sorry, 16 and 16. Now the P2. As Render this time around start to grow a little bit of lead, grow a little bit of a gap. Definitely more than what we saw in the first set of rotations. The first set, it was really neck and neck, but, you know, these teams, as they get warm, it's been Render that's been coming out on top on some of these big hills. Not by much, but by just enough to gain a decent lead that I'd say you, maybe not necessarily 100% comfortable with, but that you're not saying we need to be getting all this time, or, you know, it's crucial to get these 4 seconds, you know, that it really was for the first half of this map so far. Dire coming up from the top barn. We'll go down, and this battle for P2, it's still raging. It's still being fought, but it's Render that still have the control. Adopt. Not really quite able to get a lot of control over mid and really threaten Render too much, or at least not enough that they've been having to really readjust themselves. But now the push for next. Swish. Good to see Cypher. Cypher, some bad timing for checking the backside as Swish is able to get that kill. Some more shots of Cart coming on out. Swiss, he just gets caught in the crossfire. Rasco. Shots going on out. You know, some players in the back. Launching this sort of long side where the rest of his team pushes on through the hill. Trying to go up against one. He gets the kill. Dire, can he get the ones inside the hill? He's going to be there on the contest. Briefly. The engagement is there. The 1v1, there you go. It will be Dire that comes out on top. It's now Adopt, trying to get some time. Render, they start to run away with this game. And Adopt, they've just not been able to really respond. They've gotten a few times here and there, but it's been Render like a fly swatter. Just swats them on back. See Adopt now, they're retreating, going, hey, set up the next hill. Let Render have the last few seconds of this. We need a solid control. We need to have a solid hold right off the bat of one of these objectives. Now we'll try and attempt just that. Number 4, though. The rest of Render pushes on up. So far, Adopt. A good hold from them. Vibin, Rasco. Good sets of kills coming from them. With that, also goes the time, also goes to control, forces Render to slow on down a little bit. Get the next push. Set up for themselves, and well, there you go. Cypher, though, with the team nade. Is that going to come in and be a dangerous position? Dire finds 2. Render, a moment where you wish you had the extra manpower for that push. Adopt. Shutting down the advance, and with that, start to see them climb back their way back into this game a little bit. But they will be down by about 40 points. It's the next hill. Under the control of Render. They had a good hold last time. Adopt, I think, in a very similar position, sort of spawning out that back a little bit with some of that control. But this time now, Render. Secure that backside spawns. So that it forces Adopt to now push from the front and push through mid. Or if they are really feeling it, they go for a long side wrap, but they got to start to contest. Render, they're now 2-10. Adopt, still yet to cross that 200-point mark. They've got to make a move onto this hill, onto this objective. You see Project on that side. He finds one, he finds two. And just like that, the full wipe is there, and Render continue to hold on with this time. By the time this hill closes, if Adopt doesn't challenge it, we're looking at a P1. But with Render only about 30, 20 seconds away from a win, it will need about 12, 11 points. I believe if my math serves me correctly, though it may not. Cypher puts out the shots. The position is known, though, and with that, the challenge is there. Okay, I was able to lock down one kill there. The third set of rotations. Adopt with this control, been able to fend off Render from a rotation. So for them, that's good. Pick up the time, pick up what you can. Adopt can't win off this hill, and Render knows that. So Adopt is going to have to continue to hold on to this P1, but also the P2. They've also struggled with that hill a little bit in terms of shutting down Render. Dyer there with one. Knows there's another one. Gets it. There's going to be a third. His teammate, can he pick up the kill? He does, and Dyer still able to stay alive. The Render have streaks in their back pocket. Definitely could be useful, but Switch comes on, and he finds one. Slips on by. It is Adopt now. The P2 control. They can make the comeback. This is where it can start. 30 seconds shy. And there you go. Vibing gets taken out by the streak from Projects. Rasco goes down as well. Dyer's on this hill all alone. He's going to be the man that needs to hold down the fort for the rest of his team to get those reinforcements on in, but he's unable to do so. So Adopt left to make this last-ditch effort. They're able to do so. Render, they back on up a little bit, but now they start to push on forward. Hidden, a key player here to cut off the reinforcements. And with that, 2 kills goes his way. He gets taken care of. He goes down, but he's stalled enough time possibly for the rest of his team. But Adopt, they're able to get back in. They're back on the hill. Swish holds on out, maybe for just a few more seconds, but unfortunately, it's not quite enough. And in the end, it will be 250 to 222. With Render taking that first map. So Adopt, they were not letting that one go easily. Not at all. So overall, I'd say Render still with that firepower, but Adopt, they can bring things together. They can definitely keep cool and collective under pressure, as it seems, after that bocage. The next map, that would be a Tuscan S&D. This one definitely going to be A hits all around. But overall, we'll have to see how things play on out, how things get going. Because I think we can head it to a little bit of a break. We set up the next map, get the lobby on going, but I don't think you're going to want to miss the Tuscan, not after the bocage. All right. Why is this volume so low? Turn that up a little bit, shall we? There we go. Welcome back, everybody. I'm assuming. I don't know if we're back being live or not, to be honest with you, but getting into it, we will be going into the Tuscan S&D to start. As we adjust some settings, you'll see adopt, pushing for the A site, swish, the bomb in hand. For a moment, maybe a quick plant, but he's just a little bit afraid of someone coming around, and well, now he should be, as that goes for the chow, gets the win. Now it's going to be a 2v2. Vibin and Swish, keeping their team in this round one so far. Kez gets tagged up a little bit. Try and find Swish. He sees both players. He's saying, hey, they're pushing me. I may need some help. They're trying to look for Kez. Will we Swish that finds him as Kez walks into a sight line. Now comes down to number 8. Left alone in a 1v2 situation. Hidden. Man that I've seen absolutely step up in some very, very good moments. Slam opens up the door, finds Swish without able to get away. The trade. It's trying to come on there. Vibin, he's on the hunt and finds Hidden. Gets the kill. Nice little clutch. I was surprised that he honestly went to go hunting for him so quick like that, and I think Hidden was not really expecting that either. But nonetheless, able to catch him with that. Adopt. Take the first round. I think started off a little bit rocky because it turned into like a 2v4 pretty quickly, but nonetheless, keep their composure. Stay cool, getting the kills that they need, but now it's going to be the next round. And right off the bat, Hidden finds that first blood. Vibing with the trade, though. The A-bomb has now been planted. It's on to Adopt for the retake. A 3v3 situation now is... You see the shots start to come on out. Rasco with one. Cypher peeks on down for that reload, just barely saving him. But now he's left alone. Too many peeks, just not enough shots coming out from him. But Kez trying to make a massive play. Unfortunately, the shot's not quite able to land for that second player. And with that, it will be Adopt now. 2 rounds in a row. Right off the bat, a nice hot start from them. The 2-0 lead. Now, it's Adopt back on the attack. Vibin may find a player or two. One rushes on in. The shots are there. Vibin finds that first blood without able to get away. No one from Render really looking to hunt him down for the trade. Now, he works his way mid. The bomb is on down. He comes into Church. Catches another. Vibin, having the time of his life, just grooving on out. As he's looking for that ace, he's hungry for it. It's right there in the corner. He's gonna get it. There you go. If you ain't vibing, surely he is now. The ace is secured. The round 3, Adopt. On a tear, trying to make this a quick and easy win for them. But still, we got a ways to go. But if there's a start you want, this is it. Still on vibing. He's on that 7, so he has the full streaks in hand. The bomb will be planted. Hidden in projects. Looking on this left side. Adopt starting to work their way up. See them start to move around the map. The shots are there. Dyer finds that first blood. But Cypher will respond, but the trade is there. Now we find ourselves in a 2v2 situation. Shot being fired every which way. And now it comes down to the 1v1. Vibin versus Hidden. But this time around, it's Hidden that comes out on top. Vibin. Man's been chilling this entire game. Just getting the kills. But finally gets shut down. And with that, it will be Render that claimed their first round of the S&D. Trying to shut down Adopt a little bit before it gets a little bit too out of control. You know, a little bit out of hand. Adopt now, going for this A plant, stuns, nades, everything, all getting tossed on out. Bomb is down. Gonna beat all up to the retake for Render. Well, projects, he starts that process. Takes out one. And there you go, projects gets a hit. Expecting one in the corner. There's one in the back corner, but he starts to make his advance, but he's gonna get caught. Number 5 trying to look for that trade. Hit him with the sniper. Kez gets a kill. Hidden. Finishes up one. There's gonna be Rasco left alone. Finds Hidden. The bomb's being defused. It's all on Rasco. He goes on up. He gets the kill. It's a 1v1 now. He's left alone. The pistol in hand. Picks up the MP40. And Render loses the round. Rasco, when he thought he was caught in a tough situation, just makes it look clinical, makes it look easy. Render could not find him. They couldn't get that trade. They should have known where he was. Just the player inside of Render just not peeked up, I guess, enough to the right to really get an eye line on him. But now you see streaks being called on out. As Kez, oh my goodness, stops just a frame too short of seeing his opponent just lying on the ground. And with that, Rasco finds a kill. But I would assume would be vibing with the streak. I didn't really quite catch that, but Hidden finds an unsuspecting player as he works his way around. But Render, they're on opposite sides of the map, but Hidden, it doesn't matter. He's cleaning up his side. And Project makes his way over to him. The 2v2. Render now in a good spot, but Swish, he gets to the eye line. Saying, hey, they're pushing up on me. I need some support. I need some help. His teammates going, all right. I'll try and watch your back where I can as now. His B-Rap has happened. And all the action is going down. Swish was won. Down to Projects left alone. See, Swish gets the kill. Now the 1v1. 20 seconds on the clock. Vibin just running around. Looking. Seeing if Project's going to come his way, but the answer's going to be no. It's going to be a plant on the B, and Vibin, he gets the read, and with that, tries to go for the shot, but it ain't going to be happening. As Render will be finding their second round of this map. Now we head in the next round. Nade stuns going out as usual. The A plant all but inevitable. Rasco, brief tags. They know he's up there. Hidden. Ooh, the timing is there for him to catch one. Kez finds another. And it's going to be Rasco left alone. They're going to shut down one. The shots are trying to be there. He may have seen Hidden. But the might is just too strong. Render, they push him. With their forces. And we got him down, and with that now 4-3. Slowly climbing on up. Catching up to Adopt. One round away from tying it. Next round is going to be really, really crucial for both teams. Both you want to tie up the scoreline 4-4 if you decide to Render. If you decided to Adopt, yeah, you get a 5-3 scoreline, and you're sitting in a nice spot. Now these shots will ring out. Hidden with the first blood onto switch. Oh, sorry, not the first blood. I looked away from my screen for half a second. Missed a little bit of the action, but it's all good. It's Render with the life advantage. The manpower is on their side. Adopt trying to make their way up. But Hidden finds one in the back, and Dyer is in a very tricky situation. Can't quite find a way out of there. And with that now, Render now 4-4. Adopt that early lead that they had. Now all but washed away. They'll be Adopt and Render now on equal footing. Both sides 2 rounds away. Head into the round 9. Render on the defense. Adopt on the offense. As these next few rounds, absolutely crucial. Right off the bat, Hidden gets the kill. I mean, he's on a 7. Eventually gets caught. Render just finding life in the later half of this map. Rasco sliding around. The timing isn't there for him, and there you go. The double hit comes on through. Project is here, trying to wipe away one. Sees him in the corner. He has to have. But it's number 5 from the back. Render. They have Adopt in a little bit of a pinch, but there is a way out. Able to do so. Number 3 slips on by. With that, the attention turns to their backside because they know that player was around there, though. Possibility through mid, definitely I think sort of in the back of their mind, but nonetheless, they get the bomb down now. Cypher's shots. The information is there. Shots almost like a self-ping. So he has 30 seconds. Get some kills, get the bomb defused. He'll be able to do it, though. Swish on that plat. Runs away, might get caught. Yes, sir, his backside is there. But the shots from Cypher are not. And just like that, Adopt. Drag him on out. With that, they catch their prey. And now it's going to be Adopt. Five to 4. 1 round away from taking the map too. Render. They made a good comeback. But they still have some work to do. We want to make all that work count. Now the streak's called on out. It's going to be Adopt, I think, using it. Although it could have been Hidden. I don't really exactly know. As the streak did not really find a whole lot. All it really could find was some information. Render. 3v2. And no Dyer's in the back. And Rasco makes his way mid, finds one, now turns it to a 2v2. Rasco and Dyer versus Cypher and Projects. But just like that, Project finds himself alone, but 10 seconds left. Just run away. The kill is not there, so Cypher, there you go, gets the kill, gets it done, and now we see ourselves in the round 11. Scoreline 5-5. Render. The next round determines if you maintain the lead, or will the top tie things on up to a 2-2 scoreline. Will be an A hit once again. The bomb not quite planted yet. Kester is at the nade, should get maybe a hit, maybe not. No. We'll be missing getting that intel, but nonetheless, now it should be roughly there. The bomb planted. Render. Forced to start to make an offensive push, but Dyer, he finds one. Projects. He's checking. What is there? Vibing with one. Projects finds Swish. Render on opposite sides. Adopt have been so good at working together. And there you go. Just like that in synchronous unison. 6-5. The round 11 goes to Adopt. And with that, we see ourselves at a tie scoreline. Heading into what will be a map 3 hardpoint. And overall, we saw vibing from the start absolutely pop off. But then later we saw Hidden as well, going like a 7 or something as for his side for Render. Definitely a big, huge factor for that comeback potential from the side of Render, but ultimately it will fall just short. Both teams going toe to toe. After the S&D on Tuscan, we will be turning to a Gavoot to a hardpoint. We saw Render come out on top on the first hardpoint, 250 to 230 something or thereabouts. But this map is very, very different from Gavoot 2. It's very much about rotation, about that mid-ship control. I think we've seen generally, I still stick to what I said, which is that Render have a little bit more of the firepower, but Adopt, they got something as well. It's just a matter of, I think, a little bit of the battle of the ARs. You got Projects for the side of Render. And for the side of Adopt, I believe you have, I'm forgetting the name, honestly. Pop up on the screen, I'll probably remember it then. But regardless, like these two teams have been going toe to toe, and so a lot of these great moments. I mean, even that last round, the S&D, the absolute turn. But now the Gavoot 2. I guess it's Rasco, I think, who is running at least part of an AR. But the P1, the first break, who gets that early advantage? Cypher with the early nade, pops on out. But it's going to be Adopt with the early kills. Render respawn there. A few kills on the outer side, a few kills on the hill. Adopt. We'll be getting some of that time, but now it's contested. Swish. He finds himself finding one. There's going to be another one there for the trade, though. That's me, Kez with 2. Starting off on a 3-0. Possibility for some streaks. And Rasco, a solid beam comes out of him. I think these two teams know. They can feel it. It's close. Got to be on point. As the PT rotation starts to come on in, the objective now active. CRC ourselves with Adopt. For some of this early time, but Render here to respond. They wipe them off the ship. We take control. Raise their flag. Hit him though. Now finds himself a little bit alone. Adopt not really quite responding. They didn't really have the manpower, I think, to really commit to an all-out push. These two teams start to trickle some of their players in and around the objective. There's still Render that comes out on top, and a good wave of kills goes their way. There's be projects that looks over mid. Adopt, make their way onto the P1, but by that time, you already had to be focused on the next hill, and Render, they have this control. Project pushes through the backside, but I mean, so does Adopt. They left their rear pretty much completely open. And there you go, Rasco switch. Getting kills. Kez, though, cleans up the mess. But it'll be Dyer that has the last and final word, as now it's going to be hidden, trapped on this hill. E goes down. Adopt. They have the high ground. They have the overlook. Dyer is still chilling on this hill. Finds Cypher. Finds no one else. The time from Adopt. Worked their way onto the hill. Render. I mean, really, it was just a singular play that lost them all control of that hill. There you go, hitting gets the one with the pistol, but now 79-65 Adopt on the rotations. They've been shown they can really hold back Render. A lot of these locations, a lot of these spots, and Render, I mean, they're trying to make their way forward, but Adopt, they're not letting them do it. These kills come on through, vibing on a 3 streak. Kaz will get caught by Swish, and Render are forced to go at it again. Adopt, they know this. They've had this zone on lockdown. Everyone from Render really around that P1 location. Swishy knows this. We'll get mowed down by Cypher. Render. A gap starting to form. The next objective, Render needs to be on point. They need to get some of this time. But the control, they don't really quite have it. Swish comes on out. A nice gunfight win from him. He sees the player. Tries to run away. It's going to be Kez. Almost getting caught. Project from the top. Able to get his teammates back. So Adopt. Start to make their way forward, though. Project takes down one. Trying to eliminate the reinforcements. Render, though, gets wiped from the hill. Adopt. Making this one a very heated, very contested objective, as there's only 17 seconds left. The P1 rotation swishes is on it. These stays, nades, shots ring on out. One coming around the backside. Swish. Don't think he really has an instinct. It's number 8, Kez. Will eventually hop on in for a brief contest, finding one. There's gonna be a second there. It's gonna be Swish that remains on the hill, soaking up all this time. A 30-second gap. Projects now finds himself on top of the hill. Trying to get some of this time for the side of Render. I don't know if anyone's had enough of a presence for streaks. But we've seen a nice wave of kills come on in to the side of Adopt. And Render spawning on out a little bit. Dire with his top boat control. Finds one. There's going to be Project there on the side. Another play from Render. Dire, he's going to be able to pick this one up. Cypher, I think they know he's there, and he gets dealt with. So Render once again have to start from scratch, but Dire on that 4 streak is going to be Rasco with 5 now. As streaks start to become achieved. Rasco looking for that strafing run. So I don't know if they'll be using it. And just like that, the wipes are there. Render finally break Adopt, but about halfway through the hill, they're just trying to play to tie it on up. Explosives going out all around. Project's tagged so very much. He does not been able to have an eye line at all. Any protection other than just the threat of him being there. And actions speak a little bit louder than words, and Vibin gets the glide. The rest of his team getting these kills. So is it enough to break onto the objective? Get this control, and with that, the kills go the way of Adopt. Render. The spawns flip. They have the high ground. Vibin trying to make his way onto the hill. Kez will deny it. And it's just a matter of who can get a player to sneak on by, slip on through. As few scratches as possible. These rotations still continue to be absolutely massive. Render. They have for the next, but Adopt. Sending everyone through mid. Cypher catches 1. Cypher catches 2. Hidden will find the third, and with that, that should deny Adopt from this rotation from spawning on even remotely close to this objective. Render have a good few seconds just to set up shop, post up, and just wait for Adopt to make the long traveled road to meet them. Cypher gets caught trying to climb up the ladder. So Hidden. He's the one who hops on this hill. Adopt. They're getting so very close. Making this push happen for themselves. But Kaz and Cypher, they have other things to say. Adopt. Can't quite make it onto this hill. With that, they see themselves retreating. Derek gets picked away, though. P. Was it 5, I believe? Comes on up. Render having some of that manpower. But Adopt with the positioning, a lot of this control over the actual objective itself. Project chilling on the boat. The streaks are there. Rasco finds Kez. Render, they are about 27 points away with this hill. At the moment, it doesn't really look like they're going to see much time of it. But eventually they start to flood. They start to slip on through. The streaks from Dire, though, finds one, but is not enough to save this objective. Now the tides have flipped. Render, they can't win off this hill, but then get so very close. Adopt this P1. Now it becomes absolutely everything. It's Hidden makes his way front and back. Adopt. Will they be able to check it? Certainly now they can. Swish knows there's Hidden in the back. The rest of Render, they're all around. But Swish with 2. Is that enough to allow his teammates to come on in with some reinforcements? The battle comes on. It's a battle of the trades. And it's Adopt that hold on for a little bit more time. Render, 2 seconds left is all they need. Adopt, they can still win up this hill though as well. As it's becoming absolutely crucial. Rasco from the beach finds one, goes for Kez, gets it done. The right side, absolutely impossible. And Render forced to make their way up mid. But Adopt, they're already set up. Render having to push on in. They can't get it done. And it's Adopt 250 to 248. That turned the series into their advantage, their side. Now they will go up 2-1 in the series. Next up would be a Berlin hardpoint. And it's now seen Render start off with that map 1 victory, but since then, it's been Adopt that just been able to narrowly squeeze on by. No, maybe not necessarily on the S&D. Though in the end, it was very, very close. 6-5 with the scoreline of the S&D, but that hard point. And everything mattered. Adopt. Stepping on up. But we saw that presence around in the Bocage as well. It was just in that map, it was just Render just having too much control. And also the fact that it's so scrappy and you can almost guarantee yourself time on Bocage no matter what hill it is. Gavutu, you can't really quite say the same. It's really just, you know, a few seconds off scrap that you may get because the other team decides to start to rotate. But this time, it was the P1. The battle that just raged on, and again, it was just so close. I mean, it came down to individual plays. There's Twish, absolutely massive with the 2-piece to start off that flurry of engagements. And the rest of his team and him able to make it on back and just shut down Render at the final seconds. But now we turn to the Berlin hardpoint. The map 4. Render now in a position where they need to go 2 maps straight. They need to take the Berlin, the hardpoint, ultimately the S&D if they want the win, but the side of Adopt, it's right here, right now. This very map. You can close it on out. You can advance yourselves to Grand. So much pressure on this map. And it's very much like the Gavutu as well with some of these rotations. So this one, definitely, you can have some massive SMG plays on the board. Gavutu you can if you're like literally on the hill. But Berlin is one where you can be on the hill and also somewhat around the hill for the SMG presence as well. As now the burden falls on Render. Maybe find and force a map 5. It will be Adopt. It starts off a little bit further away, as they'll be looking to make this hit happen. The opening suns, the opening nades. Render, their first bit of time goes to them. They Adopt now. That makes their way forward. Tries to get the kills. Ultimately will get shut down. Forced to go again, but number 1 now making his way around that left side. The possibility of an impact. Let's number 5 sort of cross. He gets the kill. And it forces Render now to watch all directions. They know Adopt is starting to come in from a little bit of a pinch. Number 1, though, gets taken out. And Render, they just need to look one direction now. Adopt, though, they still have the sides. for this P2. Some of this control. You see number 3, number 1. Already set there. Number 4 in mid right now. He makes his way. Gets caught. Render walk away with the P1 with 46 seconds. Adopt. Do you have a response in the P2? The answer looks to be a no on that one. As Kez finds 2 projects. Finding one on the outer side. Rasco. Thinking he can just hide in plain sight, but that ain't working. Not when you have projects. Now switch. He's been a very impactful player throughout this entire series. Making plays when they absolutely matter. Holding on for as long as possible on that hill. Vibing. Finding one by P1. The next hill, the next rotation. It's into the hands of Adopt. Surrender make their way from almost all directions, though vibing. I mean, I don't know. There you go. Finds Kez. Kez probably the one on the streaks, but not going to find anything. Now we see ourselves still with Adopt. With some of this control, some of this hill time, but eventually it's going to be Render that starts to break their way on through. The cracks have formed. Control starts to turn to them. It's an early lead for them. Still looking to keep it. To adopt that last hill definitely was a big one for them. Getting a lot more points on the board. So the train yard. This one's a tricky one. As Render have this control. Say more times than not. The train yard hold. Almost impossible to break. I mean, it's really just like the P3. How it's so dependent on those spawns, and it's just so open as well. That if you're posted up in the back, you deny players before they get into you, but Swish, that doesn't matter. Same thing with Dyer there. As somehow they're able to make their way on through, hidden. Sort of last man up while the rest of Render start to push in through the back. Trying to reclaim control. Reclaim the hill presence. They hit now 12 and 7. The SMG in hand. On that 3 streak. Maybe make it 4. Maybe not. No. He will go down. And with that now we see Swish. Set up on the next objective. On the P5. Kez working his way around that left side. Tags up Swish. Swish will fall. The trade does not come through. The Adopt, they have a lot of presence around this hill. Kez, I mean, just making his way around this objective. Popping up every which way. Render. Make that uphill climb onto the hill. Adopt trying to make it difficult, but now it's Render that start to put themselves in driver's seat. It's really just been them, for the most part. A lot of this control, a lot of the presence that you need, a lot of these angles, they've just been able to cover. Hidden. Finds himself on the 7. The glide and the strafe in hand. And he's just going to keep on rolling. Number 2, vibing. Will eventually put an end to the little terror of Hidden. The second set of rotations, though. Render still just continues to soak up time. It's going to be Adopt. Still yet to cross that 100-point mark. Dyer, though, maybe making some noise. Knows there's another one in that back room. He tried to slide on out, somehow able to get away for just a little bit longer than I thought. Nonetheless, gets caught. Vibin trying to have the last say on this P1. A few more seconds left. Battles it out against Cypher, though it's Cypher that gets the better of him. Rasco holding his back, holding his sideline, pushes on out. The aggression is there. A little bit, in my opinion, too much aggression, giving away that outer edge, and it just allows Render to come on in, but in the end, it's still top to come out on top. Their SMGs able to hold the line, hold down the fort that they looked across that 100-point mark. The P1 to P2. Trying not to make it like the first set of rotations. If they can. Rasco winning a major gunfight on the next objective. There's going to be Cypher that responds. The trade, Render, they're all there. They're all around. Going to be on Adopt now to break it. Can they do it? The Render finds himself over the 200-point mark. 100 gap difference. Adopt, make their way. Break Render. But the question is for how long? Because they're still spawning then. They're still able to get their players back into the hill, back into the action, back into the fight. It's Vibin left alone as Adopt's players just trickling on in for some sort of defense, some sort of support. In the end, the final few seconds will go to Render. But Adopt doing their job, just stalling, keeping Render from soaking up as much hill time as possible and maintaining this back train yard hill. Kez, though, may look to change things around. The rest of Render pushing on in through the back. The first streak comes on out. Projects finds two. Hidden with the streak. Finds one. But with that, a nice, clean, solid break from them. Gonna be number one coming around this back. Maybe the possibility to make a massive play, but it's gonna be Hidden. Finding one. Gets mowed down. The trades. Are they there? The answer is going to be yes, and Render find themselves 20 points away. Adopt. This map, they've let it get away from them. There's the room for mistakes. The room to lose your gunfights. All but evaporated. As it will be Render that come out on top. 250. 128. And that brings us to a Berlin S&D. These two teams settle it out on the final map. The series is tied 2-2. Render winning 2 out of the 3 hard points. Is it 2 out of 3? Hold on. I don't even remember what the... Yeah, winning 2 out of the 3 hard points. There was Adopt that came out on top on the first S&D. They were able to take the Gavoot to a hard point. So that one... so very close. But now it's the S&D where Render... looking to prove themselves here. Saying, hey, we can get together. We have what it takes in the S&D. Adopt from their end is looking to say, hey, S&D, this is our trade. This is what we work for. This is what we know how to play the best. And the Berlin, that is going to be where this series will be settled. Pride, I'd have to say also on the line, because both these teams, I mean, in general, like, were the adversaries from the way they've been playing, that Berlin really ending up being sort of the odd man out in the series so far. But overall, it's been toe-to-toe right up until the very end to reach this position. It's just a matter of who's going to come out on top once the dust settles. Once the fire comes to an end. With that, I think we'll head to a little bit of a break. But when we return, it will be the map 5. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Back into the game we go. The map 5, the Berlin S&D. Well, these two teams will close out the winners finals of Major 1 of the AEL. Round 1. Just seeing some nades, some stuns, I think. Being tossed on out. No one will fall quite yet. No one will be the first victim of the map so far. That will change. Dyer putting out some shots against Kez. Goes number 4. Also making his way around that A site hidden. Is anyone rotating? The answer is going to be no. So it's going to be number 6. It's just a battle of who's going to be the first to move, who's going to be the first to be called upon. The opening picks, they rain on out. Cypher finding it, but Dyer respond with 2. Is hidden now, fights it on out. Dust somewhat settled, it seems. Vibin is left alone on 1v2. The bomb now going to be getting planted. The intel is going to be there. Hidden. There you go. He finishes the round. A good kill from him. I believe that makes number 3. Gives Render the first round. It is now 1-0 so far. Adopt. The team that's going to be looking to respond. Cypher. Once again, the first blood goes to him. Rasco will be the one that goes down. Bomb worked its way to A, but Render there all around as well. Dyer, he sees Cypher, gets the tags. Swish, though, finds a finishing blow. More shots rain on out. Between Kez in the back, he may get caught. Dyer with 1. Dyer looking for the second. He knows it's there, and he gets it done. The 1v1 hidden. Versus Dyer right now. Dyer's on a 2. Hidden also on a 2 streak. Ill gets players that much closer to a streak. Where's the timing going to be? Who's going to get caught? The bomb needs to be planted by Adopt. Dyer is able to sneakily pick that one up. Though Hidden gets tagged. Dyer goes for the plant. Hidden, he pushes on forward. And it's Dyer versus Hidden. The shots are there and eventually going to be Hidden. That seals the deal. And now it's going to be 2-0. Render. A quick lead from them. Those slow rounds overall. The next round, it's getting more stuns. It's going to be Render looking for this B hit. Cypher has the bomb in hand. So it's going to be Swish in the objective, but Cypher, he knows it, but it doesn't matter. Swish puts him down. His attention now turns to Kez. Sliding in the movement from both players. Kind of push them on off, but eventually it's going to be the stun that gets tossed on out. And the gunfights are there. The B site is just about cleared on out. It's all down to Hidden. And 1v3, though, quickly puts into a 1v2. Number 7 might catch Hidden. Vibin, he sees him and hidden. Well, he's not that hidden away. As Adopt now picking up around 2-1. So far, these two teams starting to clash a little bit. The round 4. Once again, looking like a B hit. Adopt. It's going to be their first one, though. So far, we've seen three B hits, and now and 1 A hit so far. Projects tags 1. The heal's just about gone on that player, but nonetheless, still somehow able to scurry on away, get that objective planted. Projects is left alone. He has work to do. Rasco puts out the shots. Projects can't quite get the kills. Vibin looking overhead. But Project with the beam sees another. The time is ticking on down. They are not chancing it. Eventually, it will be Rasco that finds the kill. Now Adopt 2-2. The series is tied. So far, the map is as well. Round kicks up. Render. I mean, overall, not too bad. I mean, they got some 2 and 4s. Got some 4 and 3s there. 4 and 2. Instead of Adopt, though, he got 5 and 2. He got 4 and 4 the rest, though. Looking for some trades. I've been just getting rid of some of the debris, making it easier for his sightline. Does see hidden. There you go. The shots fired on out. Hidden. Taken off the map. But it turns to Adopt for the retake of B. Swish. Getting rid of some of those deadly barrels. Pesky little things those can be. But that also clears a little bit of the way. A little bit of the stress from hitting the B from the dock side. So there's very much more to be afraid of. Rasco gets caught. The trade is there. And his Projects in a 1v1 against Vibin. Oh, have the tides have turned. Projects. He knows he just needs to be in the back. It's the same trap that it caught him in the previous round. The two teams continue to clash it on out, back and forth. Render with that slight edge so far. You're looking for Adopt to shake things on up. The last S&D, you saw Adopt with a very heavy lead pretty much throughout the entire map. This time, though, it's been much more balanced on out with Render just ever so slightly ever to squeak on by in these rounds. Rasco that puts out some shots on Projects. The Projects, they'll still stand tall, even firing a few in response. The A site, though, that's where the bomb is going to be planted. Or no, wait, what? Sorry. I'm all switched around. It's going to be the B. Don't mind me. Sometimes I'm a little crazy, you know? Nothing wrong with that. Okez on the opposite side of the dock. Vibin looking overhead. The bomb. It goes down with that Render. start to jump into action. They have the site surrounded. The streak is on out. There you go. One gets caught. And it's going to be Rasco. Left alone, the streak may not have gotten a kill, but it forced the movement. The force adopted to some tricky situations as the bomb is defused. Rasco just can't quite get an eye line on it. With that render, they pull ahead 4-2. We head into this next round with the Adopt. Pressure starting to be there. Don't let this map get too far ahead. There is not that much more room to drop some rounds, to make mistakes. And a similar setup that we've seen from Render throughout the series is here, hidden. Watching for any rotation from the side. Though no one's watching that mid, so number 5 still, nonetheless, may be able to make an impact. Push on in, get through the backside a little bit. But hidden, he may be able to come through his opponent's backside, but swish. He will be the first one to claim blood. Hidden responds. Plays his little trap card. He finds one. They're the front lines. The spawns of Render absolutely fall apart. It's down to Hidden, left alone, but he needs to get to the bomb. He needs to check it. Can it be? No, he can't. Vibin watches his teammates back at the most crucial of moments. Adopt still trying to stay close to Render now. But still, they've got to break. They've got to break the tide a little bit. They got to break up the pattern. It's been Render so far. Like, they got 2 rounds. And then Adopt got 2 rounds. And now Render got 2 rounds. And it's looking for, like, Adopt needs to get 2. But, I mean, with that back and forth that we've got going, it's been Render that's been having these advantages and these back and forth, being the first one to take the lead. Or, I guess, not even the first one. Just being that team to have that lead when it comes down to that change. The Nades and Stuns goes on out. The B site once again. The bomb is down. It's a 3v4. Render, the man advantage is there. Vibin watching over the bomb site. Dire with another. With that, it's a 2v3. With Render now on the back foot. They had the man advantage, but then they lost it. And the time is ticking on down. No time for Render to get that defuse this round. Goes the way of Adopt. With that now, 4-4. There's only 3 possible more rounds that we can see. And the pressure is mounting. This round is absolutely crucial. One team will be put in a spot where they are so very close to the win, practically touching it. As Kez finds the first kill of this round, and the bomb is down. So it's going to be down to Adopt to retake a life disadvantage. Swish! Absolutely turning. 8-8 for him. Can he find more? As it's now in a 3v3. Adopt. They have some control, but there's going to be one. Render. They let Adopt have some of the control to set themselves at some of these longer angles, some of these tougher fights. And the defuse is there. Cypher, he gets beamed by a swish, but there's no more time for a defuse, and it's going to be Kez. For the side of Render, that remains present around the bomb site, but he's not really needed. In the very end, at least. Like, the trade is not a make-or-break moment. As Render now 5-4. A victory is right there for them to take this next round. Adopt. They have got to go 2. Adopt. No more rooms for mistake. You can't drop any more rounds because that's the last. If they do. But it's me projects to find Swish. And now a 3v2. Adopt has the disadvantage of Rasco. A nice quick response, able to get out alive as well. Cypher. Might be making a little bit of an advance, Rasco. He may or may not catch Cypher. We'll have to see. But Render, they're made their way around the B site at the moment. They don't have the opportunity to hop on that defuse. Oh, sorry, no. The bomb isn't even planted. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm a little tired. I ain't gonna lie about that. But nonetheless, it's on Adopt to make a move, to make something happen. Render, they know this. They're waiting. It's quiet and hidden. He breaks the silence. Oh, Rasco. The shots, the punch of frustration. 10 seconds left. The bomb needs to get planted, but it ain't gonna happen. Kez finds 5, and it's Rasco left alone. He needs to get 2 kills. But it's not gonna happen. Render ain't giving it to him. And with that, 6-4 Render comes out on top. They claim the series. 3-2 will be the final scoreline. But Adopt, fighting until the very end. Saying, hey, Render, if you make a mistake, we'll catch ya. We'll be there. But in the end, it is still going to be Render that comes out on top. Adopt, that S&D, just up against the bumper of Render, but they were just not quite able to pull ahead. With that, that will be the series. That will be winners finals of the Major 1 AEL. Render advanced to grand finals. And it will be the side of Adopt that go down to losers. They're gonna have to battle it on out. I'm assuming in losers finals there. I don't know exactly what that matchup's gonna be, but nonetheless, still a very, very competitive series. And these two teams, I mean, they are heated, absolutely ready to go. But overall, hope you guys enjoyed the cast. I have been TG. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at that one guy TG, or Twitch as well if you're feeling like that kind of special. I don't even know. Sharing some love over there, I guess. But regardless, still appreciate Cal there as well for the production for this stream as well. But that's gonna be it from me in the stream. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed. Take care. Well, we'll catch you all later.